Hello, everyone. Adam, say hello to everyone.
What's up, everybody?
Why is your screen different than last time? How are we doing, guys? Thanks for joining in. Thanks for being here. My kid's crying.
That's good.
That's always what you want to start out your podcast doing.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, you're here. You're here. We're missing Jordan again this week.
Yep.
Love that.
Really bummed about
Yeah,
that.
really
He's my boy. Always has my back on everything.
Oh, boy. All right. Are you ready to get it going?
Yeah, we gonna be civil this week, or should we give the people what they want and throw down again?
I was thinking we should probably throw down again.
Yeah,
Jordan did listen to the episode yesterday. Today? Yesterday?
Yep, I saw that.
And he, oh, there's a little cat in the background, Adam. And he thought we did okay, I would say. He thought we did all right.
He flat out told us we were wrong that none of us are tackling Derrick Henry, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see about that, but it's fine. Whatever. I'm not, whatever. I'm at least gonna get my hands.
It's not affecting you at all.
I'm at least gonna get my hands on him every time, so it works out fine. All right, why don't we get this rolling then? Probably gonna be a quicker episode tonight, but guys, just busy lives, man. Busy lives.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
If you are currently in here on YouTube, thanks for hanging out. Make sure you say hello in the chat, like it, subscribe it, do all the its. Helps get us growing. So, appreciate it. Really like, by the way, Adam, I don't know if you saw it, there's a solid chunk of people who are watching it, and there's a solid chunk of people that are listening to it later on. So,
really good balance.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers look different, like on our end when we look at it, but if you count the viewers and listens, we're growing. So, Love that. So why don't we get it going? Here we go, Adam. Before we get into it, you'll take quarterbacks and tight ends again?
Mm-hmm.
Let's not do that. You'll take quarterbacks and receivers. That way I'm not talking, like back to back.
Sure, yeah, we can do that.
All right, cool. Hello, Zach Piper. It's good to see you. We were just talking about the home league before we logged on here. So I was telling Adam about what we were talking about. Anywho, all right, Adam, I will start us off and hit the record button. You ready?
Yep, ready, Freddy.
Can you quiet your dogs that aren't yours?
They are like 2 blocks away, and this is constantly every night, so no.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. We're here to help you take the next step in your fantasy journey. My name is Jake, and I am joined by 2 dogs barking outside Adam's window, and my friend Adam. Adam, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I want to preface they're barking outside the window 2 rooms away, and they never stop barking. So that's fun. And also glad to be here. Glad to be here. We got the NFC East. I golfed an 81 today with an eagle on the last hole, so feeling all right.
All right. Awesome. Love that. Do you know the dogs' names?
Nope.
Make them up.
Dummy and Dummy 2. What do you want from
Dummy 2. All right. Before we get into it, Adam, I lied to you. I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't have a game today, guys. We're missing Jordan. This should be his last week that he's not here. He was listening to the podcast while riding a train in the French countryside today.
French Riviera.
Yeah, there's worse ways to spend a day than that. So I lied. I do not have a game, but I do have a question for you. Sure. Last week we talked about if we could tackle Derrick Henry. Now this one's just more broad, and if you're in the YouTube chat with us right now, I want you to answer this question as well. We're currently live, so if you're watching this later, we are always live, typically Thursdays around 7:30 Central. So be there or be square, as the kids say. Adam, give me a look of, oh please, how embarrassing, how embarrassing. Adam. What sports venue or event would you like to do in your lifetime? And I'm not talking about going to Mile High Stadium, which I know you've done, but like, because that's something you could, if you wanted to, you could just do that any year. You know what I mean? For example.
I would honestly say.
And it doesn't have to be football. Just can I
go
take
to the Masters?
I was just gonna guess that for you.
All 4 rounds every year, if I could.
Every year, no, just one time. If you could only go once.
Once a year.
So like, no, I'm just saying that like, if I guess yeah, sure, whatever. You can make it however you want.
Fine, once every year I would go to the Masters for all 4 rounds. I mean that is my pick.
You needed to think bigger. My idea was like, I want to not only go to the Super Bowl, I want to sit on the sideline of the Super Bowl. Get like row 50 and just be front row. I understand that probably won't ever happen, but I would die for that.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started. I would die if I ever was just standing on the sidelines.
Of course, yeah.
Yes. I figured you would say golfing Augusta.
Well, you see, you said attend the venue. I thought we were watching, but if you gave me a loophole here,
yeah,
fine. Every year, I want to go to all 4 rounds at Augusta
and then golf.
Play a round of golf every time the day before the Masters starts.
Perfect. I will caddy for you every time.
Fantastic.
10 out of 10. I will caddy for you every single time.
And I will come to the Super Bowl and hold your popcorn.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I'll eat it too.
I would, like, littler. I would just die to be on the sideline. That's all I want. Super Bowl, obviously, but like, just let a Packer game out. Just freak out.
Yeah, VIP. Stand by Jordan Love, hold his clipboard.
Who knows? Depending on how this year goes, he might be holding his own clipboard.
Yeah. I mean, you guys better pray that doesn't happen, but yeah.
Piper says that he is with me. He did the Super Bowl thing. John says he would like to sit on the bench of the winning team for a game. Oh, sorry, I missed it. For a Game 7 overtime hockey goal, and he doesn't care what team it is.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be really neat. Yeah. Come on, guys. No one told me my thing would look all weird. My screen looked all weird. No one told me. This is what the chat's for. I blame the people.
Hey, man, you look good to me.
Oh, thanks, man. I meant on the YouTube thing. Yeah. Well, no, okay. Now it's gonna look so much hotter. Or ringside of WrestleMania. That would also be fun. I am a wrestling fan as well, John. That would be really cool. So all right. So now that we're done living our dreams, why don't we get into the big one? We have the NFC East on the docket today. We're almost done with this. I mean, we have 2 more episodes after this, and then it's drafting season. It's ADPs. It's all the fun stuff, all the fun jazz.
Hey, real quick, just some news today.
I guess
really the only big news we've got to cover today is Dalvin Cook, your boy, got cut today. Released.
He is not officially released. They are going to try and trade him by Friday, tomorrow, or then they will cut him. But, if every NFL team knows that they're going to cut him, no one's going to trade for him.
So my question to you, Jake, where does he go? Because he's obviously not going to be a Viking. Where does he go?
The betting odds right now are Miami. That probably makes the most sense. Yes, Dalvin Cook will be the guy there if he goes there, but that's a crowded backfield. I mean,
there's like 4 guys then.
Yeah, it kills the Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, and then the rookie they took is being drafted relatively high right now. And that would kill him as well. I think Miami's the best fit. I saw that the second best odds is Denver right now.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
That would kill Javonte.
Don't want any part of Dalvin Cook in Denver.
Yeah. It'd be really cool to kind of see where he goes. I think this is more of a... I don't think... It's going to be hard for him to replicate what he has done in the past going somewhere else. Just because there aren't many openings where he's the... Miami is like literally the one spot where he will be the 3 down back.
Yeah,
And
and,
even
and
then,
that's the
it's a
thing. If
little.
he goes, he might go to a team and he's not 3 down back. I mean, honestly, if I'm New England, I think about it.
Yeah,
I think about
yeah, I think especially because they don't have much behind Ramondre Stevenson.
it.
Um,
Right.
just this is for me. This is more scary on like where's he gonna go and whose fantasy value is he gonna kill? You know,
Right.
if you go to New England, it kills Stevenson and it kills Cook, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go to Denver, it kills Williams, it kills Cook, it kills any Samaje Perine love, which we know Joey loves
Majay
him.
would probably get cut.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know. You know, running back's just one of those tricky spots.
Is it a cap issue? Is that the
Yeah,
main deal?
he was being paid a lot for what,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the bigger part is Antonio Madison. I always get his first. It's Antonio, right? Alexander. I get it wrong every single time.
Yep.
Alexander Madison. He is a 3 down back.
Mm-hmm.
He has shown when Cook got hurt and he played that he is a running back 1. Like he is that kind of hype. I think he will be being drafted as a wide receiver or a running back 2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to get a lot out of Madison because there is no one behind him. He is the guy.
Yeah. Can't even name the third running back.
It's a rookie, 5th round guy, I think. John says the Lions are looking at him because apparently the Lions want all running backs. And then the Vikings saved $9 million. So the Vikings, the Vikings knew. They knew that what they did last year was not going to be able to be repeated.
Right.
They get rid of Cook. They get rid of Thielen. They get rid of Eric Kendricks. And they get rid of, there's one more, Zadarius Smith.
Yep.
So they knew. So they're in a soft rebuild. The Packers are in a soft rebuild. The Lions are coming out of a soft rebuild. And the Bears are the Bears. Like, I really do think, 9 wins could win this division.
Yeah.
So.
Packers, I would argue, and I wasn't going to say this because I don't want to get on it, but I would argue they're not in a soft rebuild. They're in a rebuild.
Well, that's wrong. But
we'll see.
I mean, you can't. Okay, let's just not get into it. We'll do the NFC North next week, and we will get into it then. How about that?
That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then, hey, you're not fantasy related unless you're super into fantasy defenses. The Broncos signed Frank Clark today.
I like that.
Yeah, that's great. Love that.
That is a great pickup.
And Leonard Floyd signed with the Bills. So, pretty much the Rams the Rams of 2 years ago just sent their defensive ends and outside linebackers over to Buffalo.
Yep.
And
that's pretty much all we got for news.
And Josh Allen, he got the Madden cover. Neat.
Until Madden revamps the entire game structure, I don't care about Madden right
okay, all right, fine. But
college football is going to be back in a gaming world
next summer.
So that's what I'm more excited about.
Yeah, I am too. All right. Piper says, if you're not the Chiefs, you're rebuilding.
It's true.
I know this isn't fantasy related, but I just have to say it. So it looks like Madden put in a full-on Patrick Mahomes diving, like he is parallel to the ground. He is diving to his side and then being able to chuck it sidearm.
I saw on Instagram. It said, "If this happens to me, I'm rage quitting and I'm never buying Madden again."
I saw that too.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
No way. Like, if that's their upgrade this year, come on, EA.
Come on, EA. All right. Enough putzing around, Adam.
Yeah, enough chit chat.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes of everything, and let's go worst to best here, shall we? Instead of order. So let's go Commanders, Giants, Cowboys, Eagles. That's off of last year.
Yep.
Okay.
With the Commanders, just blows my mind that they didn't know that they were out of playoff contention. But anyway, or in playoff
that's
contention.
Right. Tell the people about that. Remind them.
Yeah, so Ron Rivera in the press conference after the game, they lost the game. And they're like, did you realize, like, at this pivotal moment of the game, like, there went your playoff opportunity or whatever? And Ron Rivera's like, we could have made playoffs.
No, he was.
And they're like, yes, you had a shot
no.
today if you would have won.
No, wasn't it opposite where he was like, well, next week we'll really be working on it, to try to get the playoffs, and the reporter was like, you've been eliminated, and he was like,
either way, just embarrassing.
Oh, Riverboat Ron, classic Riverboat Ron.
And I like him, but anyway, it's time for him to fade.
Oh yeah.
So the two QBs on the Commanders roster, and one has potentially more upside than the other. They've got Sam Howell, who apparently is the guy moving forward this season. He played one game last year, 169 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Nothing flashy there. He's going undrafted currently. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these guys because, again, they're a bad team. They're going to be the worst team in the division. It's just bad. But the one guy to keep an eye on, and I'm a big Jacoby Brissett fan. You know this. We talked about it a few weeks ago.
This is me rolling my eyes.
Yep, that's fine. I think if you're a fan of Gardner Minshew, you can be a fan of Jacoby Brissett, who played admirably when he stepped in for Deshaun Watson. 12 touchdowns, 6 picks, 2,437 yards, 243 rush yards, and 2 touchdowns. QB 24, and he didn't finish the season. So
he played 16 games.
It's not like he can't step in if Sam Howell really struggles. And I personally think
Adam, you're like 12 touchdowns, 6 picks. That's a 2-to-1 ratio.
It's efficient. It's efficient. Now, again, he played 16 games. I get it. Now, I just think if there's any quarterback room where the veteran backup has a chance to eventually start at any point in the season, it's the Commanders. Both guys are bad, though. Don't pick them. That's my philosophy with these two guys. Do you agree, disagree?
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, in redraft leagues, these guys do not hold any value right now.
Yeah.
They should be on
maybe Sam Howell lights it up, and then you pick him up on waivers, great. But, again, both guys, stay away from him. I'm a big Brissett fan. I'm staying away from him, too. So.
I think they're more dynasty in this situation. I mean, in a dynasty league, all the rookie quarterbacks should go first. But then I think if you're ranking them, like I want Sam Howell after Hendon Hooker in that role, in that tiers. Listen, Sam Howell, he's essentially a rookie this year who's gotten all the offseason work. So it's worth a dart throw, I would say.
Yeah, I would say. Again, it's just so much unknown.
Excuse me.
I would stay away from them, and again, it's a bad team. But why don't you talk about their two running backs?
Oh well, they have Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. I lost Adam, so it's like I'm talking to myself. No, I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to the chat. Oh, he's right here. Okay. Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. They pretty much were equals, which is kind of crazy as it stands. Brian Robinson was running back 39. He missed a bunch of games because of being shot, if you remember. And then Antonio Gibson finishes running back 35. But he played a few more games. Gibson's undrafted. Robinson's a 7th round ADP right now. I think Brian Robinson's the guy you want. I also think Brian Robinson should be your running back 4. I don't like this running. This is a bad offense right now. Gibson definitely holds more of a PPR upside. So, I mean, he had 46 receptions for 353 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, if you're in a full point PPR, he offers that value. If you remember, he was in the doghouse bad. There was talk about him getting cut before the incident happened with Brian Robinson. This is
some guys fell in love with Gibson. I don't know who would do that.
Yeah. I'm staring at Adam because he loves Gibson because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Anyway.
This is a classic backfield where one guy will be good one week, the other guy will be good the next week. I don't like any part of those. A 7th round ADP. I mean, I don't love that. Guys going around him right now. Brandon Ayuk, James Conner, Antonio Madison has a 7th round ADP. I'm sure that'll go up. I said it again. Alexander Madison. Oh my gosh. I just can't. And again,
question for you.
Go ahead.
Would you pick James Conner or Brian Robinson?
James Conner. And that is so simple. So we should really look this up as we go, Adam. So again, guys, we talked about this last week. So Jordan does great. He makes up these charts for us. We're using them. They're now a week old. Brian Robinson's ADP is in the 10th round as it currently stands, running back 37.
That makes sense.
I feel a lot better than that, or a lot better.
Is Gibson still undrafted?
And that is in a PPR league.
Okay.
Gibson's going in the 10th round as well. So that has changed. They're going right next to each other.
It would not shock me if both guys finished right around each other, or Gibson or Robinson was the best back.
Yep.
Like, it's just such a bad team. And again, I'm higher on Gibson than most people, but also he usually has more touchdown volume because they put him in by the goal line. Robinson's a little more speedy, a little more shifty. He's going to get the home run threats potentially, but Gibson's still a guy down by the goal line. Maybe might help your team. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel a lot better about it in the 10th round for both of them.
Yep.
And so remind me, Adam, as we get to these other players that are a little later, that I'll just keep looking those up. So that way we're not shooting everyone wrong information.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so why don't you talk about the grossly underrated Terry McLaurin?
Yeah, if there's one guy in this team that you want, it is scary Terry McLaurin. Jordan and I are very high on this guy. You're pretty high on this guy. I think most people would argue he is underrated. He finished wide receiver 14 last year. He played 17 games, so he's healthy all year.
Yep, and his ADP, is 5th round right now. So he is running back 24. So he's dropped since Jordan made this.
Yep, wide receiver 24. He's elite. If he finally gets a quarterback that is competent, I mean, we know the Carson Wentz show was horrible, as everyone knew it would be last year. Taylor Heineke was his quarterback, and in spurts was okay, which made Terry McLaurin look really good. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that you can draft confidently. Even with an incompetent quarterback, he is still a very good receiver. I think he has potential to finish in the top 10 this year, but will he? I'm not betting on it. I'm not going to book anything with him this week just because of the question marks at quarterback. So, again, Terry McLaurin, very good receiver. You can bet that he will finish higher potentially than he's rated, but ultimately don't reach for him, I guess, because there's better receivers out there. You got anything to add about Terry?
Yeah, he has top 10 upside.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're getting him in the 5th round, I mean, you could be looking at him as your wide receiver 3, and that's fantastic because he will give you wide receiver 1 weeks.
Yes.
So if you go wide receiver early, I would be trying so hard to get Terry McLaurin. He's athletic. He's just a baller. Someone just asked, would you rather have Scary Terry or Mike Evans? For me, it's Scary Terry.
Yep, I agree.
But the thing, though, is you get Evans 2 rounds later.
Yep.
I would still rather have Terry in that situation. Adam, what are you looking at?
The dog's barking again.
It's all right.
So let's talk about these 2 other schmucks.
They're not schmucks. Jahan Dotson has an 8th round ADP.
Not the biggest fan of these guys, and you can go ahead and go in depth on them. But again, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel's there, and Curtis Samuel had a few good years with the Panthers there. Both guys finishing mid-30s, mid-40s, 34 for Samuel. Dotson was 43 last year. Both guys currently listed undrafted. Is that still correct?
Jahan Dotson's in the 8th round.
Oh, he is 8th round.
Okay. Going forward, I will tell you the ADPs as we kind of go.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Okay.
So, again, those are 2 guys that could contribute pretty well. Dotson had more touchdowns than Samuel last year. Samuel had more yards. But, again, the guy that will take away from both those guys is McLaurin.
Yep.
And if you want a receiver on the Commanders, it's McLaurin. But, again, both guys like Dotson, Samuel, for me, I think it's a coin flip.
They're waiver wire guys. Well, Dotson won't be drafted like that. But they are guys who you're plugging into your starting lineup because you have injuries and you're hoping something hits, right?
Yes.
We're hoping that Sam Howell or Jacoby Brissett can give Terry McLaurin a really good year, right? And if we're hoping for a guy we both really like that doesn't give much opportunity for the other guys, right? So, John Dotson in the 8th round, I am staying away from that. That is a hard fade for me.
Yep.
I'd feel better in the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, even later, if I'm being honest. Yes, I'd let someone else take that upside. Dynasty, it's different, but
Yep.
And Curtis Samuel, again, a guy you could probably find on the waiver wire, and then plug in, if you need to, but because those two do offer, like, there's worse options, right? But
you know who they remind me of? Mac Hollins from last year, where they could have a really good game now and then, but you cannot bet that they're going to consistently. Trust them. Yeah, you cannot expect that every week. Yep. So again, both of those guys, meh.
I will say it's good to see Curtis Samuel play all 17 games though. He's been going through it. Tight end, they got Logan Thomas. Trivia: where did he go to school?
Virginia Tech.
And what did he play?
Quarterback.
That's right. 14 games, 39 yards. He's a low-end tight end, too, in my eyes.
Yep.
He's just not very good.
But he had that 1 year where he looked real good.
Yeah. It's just the offense is not good. So let's move on from that. Yeah. Let's move to the Giants, probably one of the biggest surprises of last year.
Yep. And
they have improved. I'm going to say it like that. They have improved because they have. I'm going to let you talk about Daniel Jones. Jordan has Daniel Jones undrafted, and he wrote next to it, disrespectful. So I'm going to look that up quick because there's no chance that he is still undrafted. He is not. He's going in the 11th round.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Daniel Jones in the sense that he has the upside of being a running quarterback. Played very well last year, but again, he's a product of Brian Daboll. And can they replicate that year 2 after teams have tape on his system, Brian Daboll's system? They have tape on Daniel Jones and his tendency in this new offense. Will he be effective? I think so. Did they overpay for him? You betcha.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot believe what they did.
Good for him.
Daniel Jones
get that bag.
What's that?
I said, good for him. Get that bag. But
got that money. Got that dough. Again, he finished QB9 last year, but he had 7 rushing touchdowns, 15 passing touchdowns, only 5 picks, which that's the big thing that sticks out for me. He was very careful with the ball, but if we know anything about quarterbacks and fantasy, if you're very careful with the football, you're not going to be the best fantasy quarterback year in and year out. You got to take risks. You got to like if he would have had 30 touchdowns, 5 picks, perfect. Take them. Yeah, you betcha. He only had 15, which was 1 less than Russell Wilson. So I like Daniel Jones. Part of me roots for the guy because when he got drafted, you remember what the crowd did?
What'd they do?
Booed him so bad. And the Giants fans
it was the wrong pick.
Well, he was, but you feel for a guy that he's drafted, he's feeling great, and then the Giants fans come out in mass and they're like, "We hate this pick. We hate you, Daniel Jones. You suck. You suck." And then he's sitting there like, "What did I do? I just got drafted.
But
it's
why?
not my fault." So I think can he replicate QB9 numbers again? Personally, I don't think he can. Will he be a competent starting quarterback for you? Yes, I think
I like
he
it.
Can be.
He's perfect. He's perfect where he's being taken. You're taking him in the 11th round. That's great.
Yeah. Yep. That is just fine. Do not reach for this guy. Some Daniel Jones super fans out there will probably take him earlier, which to that I say, you fools.
You fools. Let's talk about the one guy people do want, and that is Saquon Barkley. So he has yet to sign his franchise tag. So that is hanging over him. A week and a half ago when Jordan did this, his ADP was 1-3, the average. So he was going as I'm sorry, no, I misspoke. He was the 3rd running back being taken on average. Yep.
Well, an ADP 1-3, I mean, that's the 3rd pick.
Yeah, but typically the picks aren't going running back this draft, so that can't be right. But
right.
Here's the thing. Now his ADP is 2-7. So he is going as he's still running back 4 according to this, which is interesting because then you have Taylor, McCaffrey, Eckler, So those are the ones ahead of him. Yeah. I feel good taking him in the early second round. Like, that's great. Mm-hmm. And I think that ADP will go up as soon as he signs his tender. Because no one wants...
Do you think he will?
I suppose he will.
Or does he gamble like Le'Veon Bell did and not do anything, take a year off? You know how I feel about that?
I think he will. Le'Veon Bell just came out and said, whoops.
Did
you see that? Yeah. Here's the thing. When he's on the field, he's dynamic. He's a running back 1. He is a top 5 running back. So if you're taking him, feel good about it. It's just there's just this added risk this year.
Yep.
So
I really like him. Obviously a home run threat. He's younger yet. There's a risk. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Whenever someone's like, I'm not playing unless you pay me, and then the team's like, I'm not paying you, there's a risk.
If he sits out significant time, the Giants will finish last in the division.
Yes. And everyone who drafted him will probably fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's play a game here.
Oh, now you're going to beat me to it.
Yep. Let's play a game here. Maybe I'm beating you to it.
Yeah, I was going to play the same game.
Slayton, Campbell, Hyatt. Are any of those guys elite?
No.
Okay, good. That was a simple game.
No.
I hate this receiving room almost more than any other team that we have ever talked about on this podcast. I cannot stand this. That Jalen Hyatt guy might be really good. When was he drafted again?
Third round, I believe.
Okay, might be really good. Could be really bad. Paris Campbell, he is who he is. He was okay as a Colt. Great. Darius Slayton. This is my face I'm making right now.
Yeah, for the people listening, it's a stink face.
I am disgusted. Anyway, I've taken a risk on him in some other leagues. Hasn't panned out. Isaiah Hodgins? Bleh. Okay. I don't like any of these guys. They're all going undrafted. Is that still correct? Or hasn't changed? Okay. They're all going undrafted. PU. Smell you later. Don't want nothing to do with these guys. I don't got a lot to say unless you do.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm going to take a flyer on one of them in almost every draft I'm in.
Is it Paris Campbell?
No. I'm probably going Isaiah Hodgins just because he had a really good back half of the year this past year.
Yeah.
The thing is that one of them has to be wide receiver 1. And wide receiver 1, yes. And a wide receiver 1 that's going undrafted is value. The problem is that you don't take one of these guys and be like, I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to use Isaiah Hodgins to fill in for my bye weeks. Don't do that. Like, you're hoping that one of them just goes off. I think Hyatt is also a flyer. But, again, the problem here is that they have these 3. They have Sterling Shepard, too.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and they have... they all do what they do okay. That's the problem, right? All 4 of them will be okay at what they're doing, and none of them will stand out. So, I'm taking a flyer, and then if, for some reason, all 3 get taken before I take my pick, then I go, oh, no. Okay.
Well, why don't you talk about the guy that I think will personally be the best receiver for the Giants?
Darren Waller, and it's easy. Yeah. Coming over from the Raiders.
Which was a shock.
Yeah, we didn't really see that coming. There had been rumblings, but wasn't really expecting it. He should lead this team in receiving, assuming he can stay healthy. He's currently ADP's 7th round. That has stayed the same in the last 2 weeks. Tight end 5. I really like him.
Mm-hmm.
I just am not taking him in the 7th round as tight end 5. And I think the reason is that the injury history, and right around, a round earlier, you're taking George Kittle. Like, I'm not thinking about tight end passing on George Kittle so I can take Darren Waller the next round. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think this just goes back to this philosophy that we've had for a year and a half now. We're not taking tight ends early unless you're Travis Kelce. You're just not doing it.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, last year I was so high on Darren Waller. I thought that he was going to be elite. I thought he would take the next step to push Travis Kelce.
Nice plug.
Then, what's up?
Nice plug.
Yep. Next.
That was good. That was good.
Then he got hurt, but again, even if he would have stayed healthy, his numbers were not going to pop off the paper here. So again, he's, like you said, Kelce roll man.
Yeah. But like, if he is tight end 5 normal though, I would say yes.
Yeah. So I mean, because he could finish anywhere between tight end 5, tight end 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, in that range.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move to the Cowboys. We're halfway done here. We're gonna keep it cooking. Quarterback, we got Dak Prescott. Yes or no? He finished quarterback 8 last year. Is he gonna or 19? He finished quarterback 19 because of the injury. That's right. How do you feel about him being quarterback 8 right now?
Can I quote Jordan?
You may, yes. Okay. You have to talk to people. What does that mean? We're on a podcast, Adam.
Sorry. Jordan did that once when you asked a question, does Javonte Williams finish whatever? And he's like, oh no, you asked if the Broncos were going to make the playoffs. And he's like, anyway, that's how I feel about Dak Prescott. I felt that way for a while. Even last year when he played really well, he was pretty well at times. I don't care. I've never been big on Dak Prescott. I do not think the Cowboys will ever maximize his potential, whatever you view that as. I just think he's got a lame duck head coach. They've talked for 2 years now, and Mike McCarthy's been there, 2 to 3 years, that he's going to be replaced by somebody. They thought it was going to be Sean Payton this last year. Denver gobbled him up. They thought Sean McVay would ditch L.A. and come to Dallas. Like, if you've got all that noise around your team, and the Dallas Cowboys will always have noise around them, Dak Prescott will never be successful. They just got rid of an offensive coordinator who made him look really good at times in Kellen Moore. Do you know who they hired? I'm blanking.
I don't, off the top of my head.
Yeah. So again, new offensive coordinator. Will he mesh with Dak? No one knows. He is... ADP is 805. Is that current?
Brian Schottenheimer is who they
okay. And I believe he was the Seahawks coordinator when Russ had those good years early on in his career, whatever.
Yes, it's current.
I always have this bad feeling in my gut about Dak, and he consistently disappoints.
Okay.
He's not worth
an eighth round pick.
I don't think he is.
Okay, well, you're bonkers. I have talked about Dak before and what I think of him. He's only given such a hard time is because he has a star on his helmet. That is the only reason. I am not wrong. The problem is that last year Cooper Rush played well and it made Dak look bad because of it. Currently quarterback 8, Tua is going 3 picks after him,
which is bonkers.
Well, but for me, I think that is more about where Tua is being taken and not Dak. I think Tua should be ahead of Dak, but I like Dak in the 8th round. I like him more than Kirk Cousins. I like him definitely better than Daniel Jones.
Who produces better, Kirk Cousins or Dak, on a consistent basis?
I'd have to look.
Give me an answer.
I would assume Kirk last year because Dak didn't play.
Yep. Nope. Okay. But take injuries out of it. Just in general, even with the injuries. I mean, he's injury prone. Great.
Okay.
If he produces poorly every year and he's injury prone, that's not because of the star. That's because of Dak Prescott.
He's not injury prone though.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. I mean, he's missed.
Yes,
he broke the thumb last year.
And he broke his foot 2 years ago.
Okay, well that was just crazy though.
Injury prone.
Okay.
He's going to quickly become the Jimmy G.
How about this one? For a little foot long between the two of us. Sandwich.
Sure.
Who's going to do better this year, Kirk Cousins or Daniel Jones. Or, Dak Prescott.
Kirk Cousins.
Okay, for a sandwich. Book it.
Yep.
I got Dak every day.
Just so you know, I'll text you my orders so you don't forget right after this podcast.
Okay, why don't you, or I guess I'll talk about Tony Pollard. Currently going in the second round. I love Tony Pollard. Love it.
Yep.
He offers great receiving upside. He is a 3-down backer there right now. And as long as no one gets signed there or anything like that, he could finish as a top 5 running back this year, especially in full-point PPRs. If you're in a full-point PPR, he should be going in the first round, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm taking him over Derrick Henry in both formats. I love Tony Pollard this year. This is when you're supposed to respond. You're typing. What are you typing?
I'm looking something up.
Okay.
Hold on.
No, but I just love that he is the guy. Finally, right? He did miss a few games last year, known for those bad hammies, I believe. But I like him a lot this year.
You know why I don't like him?
Why, Adam?
Because you like him.
Okay.
I do like him, and this is something we can agree on. Do I think he's going to finish top 5? No.
Okay.
I don't.
He's being drafted like
Cowboys... it. What's up?
He's being drafted like it.
He is, and that's why I just think buyer beware in this case. Could he? Yeah. And I wouldn't be shocked, but do I think he will be running back top 5? No. I think running back 10 is more reasonable. I think he'll finish anywhere between running back 10 and running back 7.
I need to interrupt you. His ADP is actually 2.6.
Okay.
So he's running back 9 being drafted.
Yeah.
And
I think that's more his spot.
I love that, though. I love that, especially in that spot. You're taking him. I mean, he could finish top 5, and you're getting him in the second round.
Here's the one thing I want to ask you. With Zeke gone, can Pollard be an every down back?
Yes.
A power back inside the 5?
Well, that's the question, because they brought in Ronald Jones, and that's
why I'm asking. I don't think he can be a bell cow, because I don't think they're going to trot him out there for every short yardage situation.
I think they'll start. I think we'll find out that question early on in the season.
Yeah.
But I would say even if he doesn't get 10 touchdowns, I think he still offers, especially in a PPR league. I mean, I don't want to say he's a poor man Christian McCaffrey, but I mean we're talking he could be 65 receptions, 70 receptions. Absolutely. As the main, I mean, he had 40 and he was the backup last year.
You want to book it?
That he'll have 60 receptions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll book that. I would book
Excellent.
that. I booked that every day, twice on Sundays, Adam.
Wow.
Twice
Man.
on Sundays.
Can't wait for Jordan to see that one.
I know. All right, let's keep it going. My kid keeps waking up, so.
Okay, so wide receivers, this hurts me because I know how you feel about CeeDee Lamb. I know how you felt in the past about Brandon Cooks.
Oh, the goat.
Michael Gallup. I'm not the biggest CeeDee Lamb fan, but I thought about it over the week leading up to this. I thought about coming in guns a-blazing, how he's going to be horrible. He's not going to be finishing top 10. He's going to be okay. He's going to be all right. Okay. He's going to be all right. His ADP is 206. Is that correct?
Yep, it's still the same.
Okay, wide receiver 5 currently finishing, projected finish this year, wide receiver 5. I think the upside with him, and everyone knows it, is his speed, his route running, and he is clearly the best receiver in that group. Might be the best receiver in the division if it wasn't for A.J. Brown. So right. Yeah. I just think he's going to be fine. He played fine when Dak got hurt. I'm not going to try and backtrack on our argument about Dak. But he played fine with Cooper Rush. Brandon Cooks is there, finished wide receiver 48.
Okay.
Don't like him.
Love that. ADP, I love that.
ADP 10-7.
Which is still accurate.
Projected wide receiver 29. And I can only think that they have him at that because he's pretty young yet, right? He's 27?
Yeah, he's almost 30, I think.
Okay. So I mean, I don't want to get you on your high horse about Brandon Cooks.
Michael
Gallup, a guy that wasn't he projected like a few years back to be the number 2
He sure
in
was,
Dallas
yes.
easily? Yeah, he's flopped pretty hard on his belly.
He hasn't come back from the knee. That's the problem.
Right, and that's why he's going undrafted. Finished wide receiver 66. So I would say CeeDee Lamb, he's a lock to take where he is, 2.6. Brandon Cooks, don't reach for him. His ADP's 10.7. Is that accurate?
It is, yes.
Okay. I would argue wait a little bit more for him if he falls into your lap.
Not a chance.
Okay.
Oh,
but if he falls into your lap, great. If not, pick anyone who's better.
You know my love for Brandon Cooks.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jake Kniffers. 1 minute to shine for Brandon Cooks. Ready? Go.
8:14. Brandon Cooks, he's talented. We've seen it. If you can produce in Houston, you can produce here. I will admit he had an off year last year. I only played 13 games, and then he did.
And your minute is up. I'm sorry. Time moves faster here on the podcast.
Wide receiver 2. He can finish as a wide receiver 2. Okay.
Okay. You want to book it?
No, I will not. And this will be a good transition because I'll just go quickly. Jake Ferguson, former Badger.
Yep.
He shouldn't be drafted. He's not drafted. Keep it that way. So going into the Eagles, I'm just going to hit my question here. Would you rather have CeeDee Lamb or A.J. Brown?
A.J. Brown, no doubt.
A.J. Brown is going 2-4, so they're right next to each other.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, I want A.J. Brown as well. We talked about this a lot last year. And you can quickly talk about Jalen Hurts. Jordan and I were super high on Jalen Hurts and then A.J. Brown, and we were right. I mean, like they had great years.
Yep.
But tell the people about Hurts.
I was not as high as you guys on Jalen Hurts. I didn't think he was ready for that jump quite yet. He surprised me. I bite the bullet on that. He is very good. He's projected to finish QB3.
Again, just so we're clear, by the way, hold on. Just so we're clear, it's not that he's projected to finish QB3. It's where he is currently being drafted as QB3.
Which you could argue that's a projection, though. Like,
I guess, yeah, you're right.
So, the one thing that always worries me about quarterbacks that are run so much is can they keep it up? And again, we don't know. He could run for 760 yards a season for the next 10 years. We don't know. Could be the next Michael Vick, right? Hopefully keeps himself clean off the field.
Jeez. Yikes.
He's very good. 6 interceptions only last year. That's impressive.
He had a good...
He did. I'm still saying... pump the brakes, because I think Jordan said a few episodes ago, he hasn't shown it consistently yet. And I think the question at the time was, would you have Allen or Hurts? And you said Hurts. Both of us would rather have Allen because he produces every single year. If he produces again, Jake, I am in the fan club.
Okay.
I am all on the Hurts train. I'm not being a hater right now. It's just I want to see another year where he shoots for the stars and then he hits them, right?
Yeah. Here's the thing. He scored 13 rushing touchdowns last year.
Which is amazing.
It's just crazy. If you're taking... Him and Mahomes and Allen. If you want to take them early, then take them early.
Yep.
I might try to do that in a league or two just to try it out. Where other than those three, though, you wait on everyone. And it's all because of the rushing, right?
Yep.
So, if you want to take them early, take them early. If not, I understand. Let's talk about the running backs quickly. So DeAndre Swift coming over from the Lions, traded on draft day, and then they also signed Rashad Penny and his paper thin hamstrings. So let me ask you, which one would you rather have? So Penny is going in the 10th, and Swift is going in the 6th. We don't know who's taking that backfield. ADP says it's going to be Swift, which I think I agree with. But what's a better value there?
Give me Swift. I'm still on the train that I was on last year. I had an insane book it with him. That flopped because he was hurt on and off, and then Jamal Williams took the show in Detroit. But I still think Swift, he's young enough. He could take the league by storm if he stays healthy. I still want Swift. I think his ADP's fine. 6th round. I think he's going to take that backfield. And here's why I'm not worried about Rashad Penny. You said it already. It's paper thin hamstrings.
Yeah, that's the thing. Usually in these situations where you talk about a running back later, you're assuming they'll be there. And I'm not convinced Penny will be there in the 10th round. Or I'm sorry, or hope that he'll be healthy. I will say though, 10th round who has a path to consistent carries is a guy that you probably want on your team. So I feel good about taking him in the 10th round. Just because, the guys around him aren't elite and you could be getting a starting running back. He's a good handcuff, right? Because the thing is both these guys have shown that they can't stay healthy, but they've both shown that they've been really good when they are healthy. So again, I would prefer Swift in the 6th, probably as your running back 3 or 4.
Yep.
But that, like we talked about earlier, that offers really high upside.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we talked about A.J. Brown. What a stud. Draft him as wherever you can. Just draft him.
I would say Brown and Smith are very good receivers. You can feel comfortable drafting them where their ADP is. I don't think Smith will be as productive as Brown.
He's currently in the 3rd round for Devontae Smith.
Right, and that's the thing. I think both guys could easily go over 1,000 yards again. Both guys could easily go over 10 touchdowns. Wouldn't be shocked. They're both healthy. They don't get hurt a lot. So, again, I like this receiving room. Best receiving room in the division in my mind. And, again, A.J. Brown, just a beast. And I can't believe the Titans did what they did when we were live.
I know, right?
In our podcast for that draft. So that was – anyway, it's a good receiving room.
It's a really – yeah. I've mentioned it before. I always have reservations about taking the 2nd receiver early.
Mm-hmm.
I think, again, that's a philosophy thing for me. Do you think they have the best duo in the NFL? I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
No, because Miami has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
And then Chase and Higgins.
Those are
Tyler the 3.
Boyd in the mix there.
Those are the 3.
I would think between the Bengals, Dolphins, and Eagles, those are probably the top 3.
I would probably go Dolphins, Eagles, Bengals. But I like any version of those 3. I'm like, okay. It's...
What about the Raiders and Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow?
No. Just no.
Absolutely.
And the last one, we got Dallas Goedert. So his ADP is right next to Darren Waller's, 7'6". Waller's 7'4". Which one... Oh, Joey pops into the chat for the first time tonight saying, I'm not touching Devonta Smith with a 10-foot pole because he has to disagree with every single thing I say. Which one are you taking, Adam? Their ADPs are right next to each other.
Goddard or Waller?
Yeah.
Waller for the upside.
I'm going Goddard for the safety net because he's one of those tight ends. He's right at that spot where we're going to start looking at tight ends. And I want a guy that could have great games. Like, he's one of those guys late that could. You don't have to draft too early. He's going to be consistently, like, his floor is not too bad, and then he'll give you good games, right?
Yep.
Versus if you're waiting on Cole Kmet, you're waiting 5 rounds later, but you're going to get some duds.
Right.
I just don't think you're going to get that from Dallas Goedert very often. Did miss some games, though, last year. We should mention. Currently 10-4. All right, guys. So there you go. There's the NFC East. Next week, we're going to hit the NFC North, which is the fun one, the best division to talk about, where 9 wins will win you a division.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. I appreciate you guys hanging around the chat in the YouTube channel. We are live Thursday, 7:30, typically. You can keep looking for updates live on our Facebook page at the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. You can continue listening to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, wherever you're listening now. Take a listen. Appreciate it. Like I mentioned, we are live on YouTube right now at youtube.com/The Next Step podcast. And then we also have an Instagram. We started an Instagram because that's what podcasts do, apparently. That is next_step_pod. So if you're not following us there, do it.
Give us the double tap there.
Yeah, and people watching right now or watching later, hit the like button. I don't get how it all works, but apparently it helps. That's what all the famous people say. So hit the like button.
Does.
Ready? I'm going to count to 3, and everyone's going to hit it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, like.
You didn't give them enough time to log in.
You're right. You're right.
Okay, they're
okay,
good.
Thank you. Now,
perfect.
1, 2, 3. Thank you. Everyone hit the like button. We have a Patreon if you want to help us out that way. It's always greatly appreciated.
$3 a show, that's all we ask.
$3 a show. Again, it's monthly, but you'll get that right one of these times. It's fine.
I'm trying.
Thanks again, guys, for listening. You guys are awesome. We have, only 2 more of these, and then we get into some other stuff, so we're looking forward to that. But until then, Adam, you got anything else to say?
Go Broncos. Go Irish. Go Twins. Go Tigers, baby.
All right, appreciate it. And Jordan will be back next week, so we'll